So thanks everybody for coming out. It's not every day that you get to share your dream with a room full of people and your passions with a room full of people. So thank you so much for coming to hear my story. So my husband and I just bought a house. We're first-time homeowners. So of course, when you're buying a house, there's packing and unpacking. And we had about 12 years of memories that we had to get all boxed up for our home, and I found myself one day going through a box of old photographs. So I ran across this picture that I want to describe to you, if that's okay. So I want you to picture me at 18. Now I know that seems like a stretch because I still look 18. But for this exercise, let's act like, you can picture me at 18. Just a side note, my beauty secret is Pond's cream. It's $5 from Walgreens, so there you go. So let's picture me in a hot pink t-shirt, a black skirt. I have on one hot pink knee-high sock, one turquoise knee-high sock, and I even have on one of those arm sleeves that's like fishnet and it's got the pointer finger and the thumb out. My hair is in pigtails and I'm wearing way more costume jewelry than really anybody ever should. And I know you're hearing that story and you're thinking, girl, that was an outfit from the 80s, of course. I'm like, yeah, but this was 2004. So I'm looking back at this photo and I'm like, what were you thinking? And I look deeper into the photo and I realized I thought I looked good. And I felt really confident. And I can remember there were times where I didn't feel really confident. And if you don't know, it actually takes a lot of confidence to take a full body photo. I've actually built a business around it. So we're going to go back in time a little bit, back to those times where I didn't feel so confident. And that started when I was 11 years old. I actually had an opportunity to go to my first ever sleepover. And part of this sleepover, we were going to be spending some time at the mall shopping, and I loved shopping. I loved going shopping with my mom, and I was so excited to be able to go to the mall with my friends, kind of for the first time on our own. There was one parent, but kind of on our own and go shopping. And one of the stores that we decided we wanted to go to was a store called 579. Does anybody know that store? So if you don't know that store, it was a store that catered, you guessed it, to sizes 5, 7, and 9. So as we're going through the store, we're looking at all the different clothes, and at this point in my life, it was really cool to look like everybody else. So we all wanted to wear the same shirt, the same skirt, and we're going through the different racks, and everybody's picking up clothes, and I just keep looking through the racks, and I can't find anything in my size. And I realized, I'm a size 11. So there was nothing in the store that would actually fit me. It was my first experience realizing that there were stores and retailers and companies out there that didn't find my size valuable. That was a trend that would continue through my life. But luckily for me, I had women in my life that really helped kind of to shield me from a little bit of that. So my grandmother, she was a true fashionista. She would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get her outfit ready for the day. And I can just remember she had all these hat boxes, and she had this walk-in closet. And in the back of her closet, there was this temperature-controlled section for her furs. And I just thought she was so amazing, and the whole room was just so full of wonder. And I loved to go through there and kind of go through all her clothes and all the different textures, until she kicked me out. Because her furs were in there. But, she cared more about your character, not the color of your skin, not the texture of your hair, and definitely not the size of your waist, okay? So, she also was a great grandmother, and she cooked us breakfast on the weekends, and she worked full-time for RCA until she retired. And she was the first woman that I knew that could do it all. Then there was my mother. She was kind of like a style icon in her own right. She viewed style and fashion as something that was unique. She did not want to wear something she saw someone else in. She really peaked in like her 60s, in the 60s and 70s when color was running rampant, and she had hoops and hair bigger than life. But one of the things that I really learned from her was the importance of never settling. And I was so happy that she embodied that when it was time to go prom shopping. Prom is so fun, right? Like, this is the time that you're hanging with your friends and you're trying all the clothes on and you're so excited to dress up and get your hair and nails done and just be young and wild and free and celebrate that with your friends. But my prom shopping experience was different from all of my more straight-sized friends, my smaller-sized friends, where I felt every retailer was screaming, hey, we have the perfect thing for your body type. Shop with us. You matter. I found it a struggle to find something that I really loved. I can remember walking through a store, and I mean walking through thousands of dresses in different textures and colors and shapes, and they were so beautiful. And it was almost like taking a walk of shame to the back of the department where there were maybe 4 or 5 dresses in my size, and they weren't ornate dresses. They were very simple, pretty much the same cut, and they were definitely made to hide my body, not accentuate my curves. So I'm trying all these dresses on, all 4, with my mom, and she's like, she can tell that I'm not really vibing with any of these, and she asked me, she was like, hey, do you love these? And I'm like, no, I don't really love them. But you gotta understand, since the age of 11, really I've been aware that there weren't a lot of options for me. So I was gonna settle for something okay. And my mother was not gonna let that happen. She was like, we don't settle. So she was well connected in the community, and she had a friend who ran a little boutique, and she had a connection to a garment maker in Hawaii. So she's like, come on, we're gonna go somewhere. So she takes me to this boutique, and we meet with the garment maker, or we meet with the owner, and she's like, hey, I have this catalog. And she gives me this catalog, and in it there's all these different dresses, and they're all customizable. I can change the color, I can change the beadwork, I can change the sleeve length, the back of the dress, the neckline. I can really make it my own. And she says, take a look in here, find something that you really like, let's customize it so that you fall in love with it. Now, this dress was gonna cost 2-3 times the amount of the original kind of budget for our prom shopping experience, but we don't settle. So I find a dress, we create this cool dress, the owner takes my measurements, and off they go, and about 6 to 8 weeks later, I have my first custom piece. And this dress fits my curves in all the right places, and it was really the first time that I truly felt beautiful and seen. So I took this mentality of never settling and seeking out new fabrics and new styles, and I just became an avid shopper. I shopped everywhere. I stopped paying attention to the size in the tag, and I looked more for textiles and fabrics, and I played with different color combinations, and I really developed my own eclectic style. So as I'm developing my style, I'm getting feedback from my friends. They're like, you look so cute, and my family, you look great, and the community was really rallying behind my style, and eventually I became a stylist. And my clients were like, oh my goodness, I wish you could dress me every day. I wish you could come home and revamp my closet. I really wish I had your confidence. 4 years ago, my mother passed away. I took her vision of never settling to heart. And I knew that I was destined for something greater. So I decided that I would pick up a hobby. I picked up this little hobby. My background was in English. That was my undergraduate degree. and I had a minor in writing, and I always had this passion for fashion. So I decided, I'm going to marry the two. I'm going to start a blog. So this hobby, I'm putting that in air quotes, because I'm also super ambitious and entrepreneurial, so that just hobby, lasted about 30 days before I realized this was a necessary thing for a lot of people. I started getting feedback from women, not only in my community, but across the state, the country, and the world, that my story was resonating with them. Something that I hoped maybe 10 people, my friends, would read, became a platform for women all over the world, and I now have tens of thousands of women and men who reach out to me to tell me their stories, to share their triumphs, to share their insecurities. And I'm just so honored that they trust me with those things. Eclectic Curves is a plus-size fashion and lifestyle website with social channels to back it up that focuses on body positivity, loving the skin you're in, and just celebrating existing. I wanted to create a safe space for women of all sizes to come to when you're feeling down, when you walk into a store and you're not able to find clothing in your size, when you've walked the dance of, I'm only going to be able to buy earrings in this store or a handbag in this store. I wanted you to have a space where you see me living my best life at a size 22, trying out new styles, and loving myself along the way. Because that 11-year-old Sierra needed me. Really, that 18-year-old Sierra needed me. And in some ways, I still am that 18-year-old Sierra. Like, I would rock a hot pink shirt and a black skirt today. But I feel like it's my mission to create a safe space for that 11-year-old Sierra, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.